Hello, Western Civ 105 class. Welcome to the fall of 2023. Um, Class officially starts on the 28th, and I'm just giving you an intro video right now on the Saturday. I will open up the class sometime tomorrow, the day before the 28th, okay? But I like to get ahead. I like to make sure that everybody is prepared and that I'm helping give information that will help you get a great start to your semester. So first, let me just talk about the routine. It's very consistent, and I actually don't grade that hard, but I do grade hard on a certain set of explanations about my rules, and I make them very clear, and students that don't follow them end up getting zeros on their papers. So I'm going to go over this several times because for some reason, no matter what, every semester I have to keep reminding students that I don't want to have to do that. Okay, so I'll explain in a second. So again, I'm very reasonable, but there are certain things that have to be done in order for you to get the proper grade. So let me just go through the whole routine as quickly as possible. Every week, or let's say most weeks, sometimes you'll have less work, not more work, but we're going to have on Thursdays, due by midnight, video notes and discussions. Every once in a while, I will give you till Sunday to do those assignments, but they're generally speaking, those two assignments will be due on Thursdays after by midnight. And the day will never change unless I'm going to give you more time by pushing those back to Sunday. So what are those assignments? Video notes. I will state this all. So many things I'm going to repeat in this first week over and over to make sure it's very clear. You're going to see quite a bit of videos each week. If you calculate the time of the videos that I make with my lectures and some of the documentaries, it wouldn't be that much different of the time that you would if you were going to be in a face-to-face class, okay? And you have to write videos, notes on every video posted, unless I say otherwise. 2 points minimum, or more if I say, sometimes a longer video, I will write on there, it requires 4 notes, for example. So pay attention to those kind of things. And I will be posting an example of what notes should look like for you, okay? So once the week is open and I open up the class, I will give you an example. I will actually post on an announcement showing what notes should look like, okay? Then the discussions. Well, actually, let me go back to the notes again really quick. I want to make this clear. The notes are so that you're held accountable to watch the videos. I'm looking to see that you watch them. I want to see something substantial in the notes. I do not like it if you simply say, Ivan the Terrible was a Russian man. That's general knowledge, if you know anything about him. Give me something substantial in the notes. Okay, so that's all last I want to say on that for the moment. Discussions. I'm going to have a post, and you're going to answer what the discussion post is about. Sometimes I just put any topics, and I'm looking for you to find something that you found interesting and that you're going to want to draw attention to the class. And then you're going to have to respond to 2 other posts. So that's what you need to do. I expect it. You should sound like you were in my class and that you actually know what you're talking about. I'm not a fan of fluffy BS, okay? So if you don't have enough time to do the assignment properly, again, contact me. Well, I don't say again. I'll talk more about that. I'll need you to contact me and see if we can arrange more time. But try to make the discussions interesting and thoughtful. We all know that a lot of these discussions can just not be that, because students are saying something like, wow, I really appreciate your comment, and I really thought it was cool to learn about this, blah, blah, blah. Okay, let's not do that. Now, if you say any information that's wrong, you'll still get full points, and I'll just correct it. I'm not correcting it to embarrass you, but I just want to make sure the rest of the class has correct information, okay? I'm going to try to make some things provocative, meaning that I want us to be critical in our analysis of Western civilization and the history involved. And sometimes I want to pose questions that require you to think a little bit deeper about the topic. Remember, the Constitution gives you a right to free speech, but we also have a right to having manners in a classroom setting. And students have a right not to be attacked directly. So there's just two things I expect out of discussions. One, that you have manners, and two, don't be overly sensitive. Overly sensitive would simply mean this, that you're just upset that somebody challenged your ideas. But it's not being overly sensitive if somebody insults your intelligence or gets something aggressive or worse put out at you. So I will address any of that if that happens. Fortunately for me, knock on wood, I have not had too many problems with students talking to each other in a disrespectful way. So let's make the discussions interesting. Let's challenge each other, but remember, respectful manners. Okay, we're gonna have that. If there's any issues about that, I will take care of it. If you see something, if you're bothered by something, we can engage with it, and I'll take a look and see what to make of it. Okay, so that's all to say on that. Now, on Sundays, most weeks, but not all, the routine is to be the Thursday assignments, and then Sunday is a paper. It's usually about 1 page is all you'll need to do, maybe 2 if you get into writing on the papers. Keep in mind, also, I just need to say up front, I do not use the calendar. And there's a reason for that. But so you're not going to see something pop up on your canvas telling you that there's an assignment due. You need to know that every week there's going to be a maximum of 3 assignments normally due. Sometimes I'll do less. I'll never do more. Okay? And there's the weekly work objectives that you're going to look at. That's what I want you to follow when you're coming to class. Okay, so when I open up a module, I want you to look at the top. There's a link that shows what to expect for the week, and that's what you follow. Don't look to the syllabus. That can change. Is that right? But whatever is in the weekly work objective, that's what is going to be expected, and that's what we're going to work with. Okay, so Sundays. The paper will have a topic. You need to address the topic. These are not research papers. I want no sources used other than whatever we've covered in class. That means anything in the modules from the videos from me that I give in my lectures to other documentaries or readings that I might have posted for that week. If you have the textbook, you can use just the textbook. You can use just the lectures. But it needs to only come from what we've covered in class, and you need to cite them. I am going to give an example of what that paper should look like as well. So for papers, you are going to have them with citations, as I show, within the text. You have to have dates for time periods covered, meaning I need to know what time period we're talking about in the paper. I don't mean the date that you sent me the paper. And only the sources that we covered. As long as that's what you do, you get full points. If you violate any of those rules, and those are the important rules, if you don't put dates on the paper, you get a 0 automatically for the whole paper. If you do not cite the paper, you get a 0 for the paper. And if you use outside sources, okay? Now, the only exception might be on outside sources is if you made a quote from a poet or scripture from a holy book that's important to you, the Bible, the Quran, the Bhagavad Gita, something. But generally, the idea of the paper, just like all the assignments, are meant for you to show me that you've been in the class, you're paying attention, and you're drawing from the content that we covered. That's what I'm looking for. So you're not going to use AI chat to make a paper. Students are trying to do this with me last time. I can tell, by the way, when it's used, and they don't put the citations in, which are required, and you're not going to get credit for the paper, okay? Plagiarism is going to cause you a lot of problems, so you don't do it. If you have questions about what to do on papers, let me know. I'm going to give you an example of what a paper should look like also. And here's the other advice what I have for you to do. Every week, look at the Sunday paper topic so that when you're doing the video notes, you can write down information in your notes that also can be used for the Sunday paper. And so that way you can kind of get two things done at the same time, okay? And so hopefully that'll be a little more helpful. Last thing I'm going to say right now, I'm going to do a few other videos kind of explaining more. It's getting to be long, and I like to have a little shorter videos. The textbook. The textbook companies have been driving me crazy because they're trying to push all these programs that I don't want to use. And so what that means is that I can no longer get textbooks easily like I want to, just the textbook. And I'm having a big struggle with that. So I posted on the syllabus the textbook that I want. You can use other editions, whatever you can find. You might have to look on the internet to find them. They're not required, but you're going to really struggle without a textbook. The textbook will help you with the Sunday papers quite a bit because you can draw from that content, okay? So feel free to get back to me on that if you have any questions, and I will be in touch with you.